What's up? It's your boy Logical Lamont, and it's your boy
Joshua Glenn.
J to the G. You already know what this is. Today we're going to be doing how you should make a skit. There's so many reasons why you should be recording a skit. It exercises every part of the brain. So let's go ahead and get into the video. See y'all there. Alright, so first of all, why would you do a skit? Why would you do YouTube? I've learned so many things in this process of becoming a YouTuber, and it has challenged me in so many ways, and I have found an expression of like that I literally would not have discovered if it weren't for the camera. So this is something I wanted to share with you guys because all of you have those things where you have an idea. It's kind of like funny, but you never like give it the light of day to like see it come to life. And this is a great opportunity to do that. So we're going to be walking you through that process of like how to make the most out of that sort of thought process and how to develop it and become a better storyteller. And storytelling is such an essential tool that we utilize as humans in every aspect of our lives, whether it's business, personal life, communication with others. So without even trying to be all fancy and stuff like that, like I just set my tripod up and then just turn my light on and like that's it. Like it doesn't have to be super complicated. So this is how it happens. It's like we're just talking and then something came up where it's like, you know how people kind of like the idea that we got in that moment was like sometimes like people kind of like are like missing out on some social cues, and then like they try and if they're like telling you something or like trying to make a joke, it's like they're forcing you to have like this eye contact with them, and it's like it's kind of like low-key making you uncomfortable, but at the same time you want to show that you're listening to them. So like there's like this dilemma that happens that nobody ever talks about, and that's something that we want to expose, and that's something that you guys can be doing in your skits, in your everyday life. These things happen all the time. So the next step would be to how can we make this funny, or how can we communicate it in a way that satisfies an audience, that makes the audience feel like this dilemma that they have been put in has been effectively expressed, so to speak. Does that make sense? You know, then there's a sense of satisfaction with it that comes with that. And you have dopamine, you have the audience coming back for more, and it's a really fun, creative process. So this is how we do it.
Yeah, one thing people don't know about skits, honestly, is like you watch somebody like Caleb City on YouTube, and you hear somebody with how many subscribers he got on YouTube? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
He's like the leading skit maker on YouTube, and I think one thing that surprises me about his videos, and somebody even like Lenar, who's like an OG coming up in the game, this was like the guy we watched in 2015, or very early on in the skit making.
Now it's an RDC world.
RDC, all of them. Specifically like Lenar Young and Caleb City, they'll even do it like on their phones. They'll just record it with their phones like this. It's just them. They don't even have like a cameraman. So specifically, I mean, what we're trying to do when we're making this video is tell you guys that, hey, if you have a funny idea, just make it, because everybody's creative. Everybody, you know, you might not be good at anything else, but you might have creative ideas every now and then. You might have an amazing idea. It can blow up. You don't know unless you try. So I think you should try, even if it takes you just being on your camera, just whipping out your iPhone and then recording that, getting that idea out there on camera, getting it out as a skit. I think it's a really good way to challenge yourself, to get out of your shell, even if it takes you like 40 takes, even if it takes you like a month or two to really get that idea banged out.
We can't tell y'all how many errors we've had trying to make this process go. And we still have so many freaking things that we could be better at, but like, you know, it's fun. So like you gotta learn to enjoy the journey. And we literally forgot to pull up the microphones for this part. So let me grab them.
Yeah, the creative process is really fun though, and it really challenges you. So you guys should definitely get on that. Have an idea, man. I mean, what's the worst that could possibly happen? You know,
I mean, they can embarrass themselves, they can get bullied. But that's all a fear factor. Ain't none of that is real. I'm just playing.
Yeah. Who cares what other people think at the end of the day? You know,
it's all about you, man. And if you start doing this, like you start to build the confidence, like you put your actual effort into something, like you really try. Like nobody can tell you otherwise anything about yourself. And like that's something I've learned throughout this process. Like I've put in a tremendous amount of effort in this, and literally the confidence that I have built because of this whole project over such amount of time was that the Haslow's hierarchy of needs or something like that. Like I've gotten so much higher in that chart, like
self-actualization,
where I've come to that closer to that self-actualization because you know you're putting effort into yourself. That's like self-love, learning and growing, developing.
Yeah, and I mean it's a really big ego thing. I mean the more you put yourself out there and you put yourself in a situation where you're not good and you suck, it definitely plays a big role in getting rid of that ego so that you can actually, go toward higher levels. Specifically when it comes to your, self-actualization, ego gets in the way of that. So you definitely want to figure that out as soon as possible, and definitely not have your ego go against you in further progress and success. So get over yourself, make the damn skit. If you have a good idea, make it and just do it, man. Just do it.
So we're going to go ahead and set up these microphones. Super simple. It automatically syncs to the visual. You can even just clip this to your shirt, and it's great. It's a really simple tool. It doesn't have to be complicated. Like little tips like this, you just get into the process, and you learn as you grow. But just this camera would have been fine. We don't even need this. You can hear the audio now. It sounds perfect. So now that we've got our punchline, basically making it super awkward for making the person trying to stare at you. So now we've got to come up with the natural conversation as natural as we can, at least. Which is difficult because, we're kind of forcing this. So we could, with that idea, we can use an experience that we've had before where someone has forced us into staring at them or looking them in their eyes as they were talking. So if you can think about that, and then try to come up with a sort of dialogue that highlights that feeling. So you're kind of using something that's natural instead of just being super artificial with your idea. Basically just going off of something that's based off of your experience. We're thinking about acting like we were watching something and then just like having the dude start to expose the punchline. Yeah, so he just had the brilliant idea to go ahead and react to one of our own videos. And of course we got permission to react to one of our own videos.
Yeah, but you're laying on the bed and you're laughing. You're like, hey, look at me. And then I'm like, yeah, and I'm looking at you. So I look down, and then now you're here, right in between my knees, looking directly in my face, laughing.
Yeah, so this is like a creative idea. So we just got some gauze, and then like I'm thinking we could just like wrap gauze around your face, and then like make an X on your eyeballs with the red Sharpie or
I was thinking a little bit of blood or something. It can just be something simple. Yeah, like the X or whatever.
Just to get the point across. Simple enough.
At this point, the guy who needs eye contact to laugh isn't having a good time anymore.
Because he can't get you to look at him. Because like he needs that very validation in order to get some freaking humor out of the situation.
Yeah. It's like basically, laughing is like an experience that you share. But this guy's taking it to extreme levels.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So basically, like it's always an exaggeration. These skits are like exaggerated sort of feelings, natural dilemmas. So he's going to hold the video. We're going to record me doing all of the parts for the first shot, and then we'll record him doing all the shots, and then the rest is just editing. So that you could use iMovie or Premiere Pro. I use Premiere Pro. With Adobe, all the Adobe software. These things cost money, but like iMovie is completely free. Like there's always ways around it. Still make a great result. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Light skin dudes for real. Man, these light skin dudes, what? Crazy. What? Hey, you right, man. Stupid. Yo! You right? Hey man, chill, bro. Hey, man, what happened to you?
Hey, long story. I don't want to get into it too much, but long story short, murders came out of nowhere, and they just started picking my eyes out, man. But
what?
I gotta get my mind off of this, man. Hey, let's watch a comedy.
You straight?
Watch comedies when I'm over here. Let's put on a comedy and let's have a good time inside, man. Let's go.
But you can't see me though.
Hey, I can hear it. It's increased my hearing.
Okay.
This fool doesn't even know that I blinded myself just so I won't have to look in his face. He makes me so uncomfortable. That's why I blinded myself. He doesn't know. Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Girl, checking on you, man.
Still pretty funny.
The last time we were watching this video, man, you were going crazy.
Yeah. This ain't even fun no more, man. So that was a pretty condensed summary of how we develop our skits from start to finish, except for the editing part. Many people might not have Premiere Pro, but also I didn't want to overload anyone, and it would also be a lot of work for me. And that's another piece of advice that I would like to offer is before you dive into it, take a moment to consider how much energy you have to give this project, because it sounds really cool to have like the most perfect and beautiful skit, but a lot of us have to work, we have to cook and eat, and we've got things going on in our lives, people to hang out with, life to live. You want to think in terms of longevity, like how much effort and energy are you able to give to this project so that you can do it again at least next week or every other week. Of course you can do it for fun, just for yourself, but if you would like to grow on YouTube, then you want to think about showing up consistently. So if you're throwing yourself into a project that takes more energy than you have, then we're all guilty of this, but you're going to burn out. And the way to avoid that is by taking these projects as simply as you need to, and then building from there. As long as you've got that good structure, a good system going for you and some consistency, then you'll be able to start to add on as you get more effective in your process. So you literally have gauges, like I could have made this video so much better, but like, you know, how much energy do I have? And you want to think about reciprocity. Like, are you making money on YouTube yet? Like, if you're not, then it's probably not worth putting all of your time and effort into these videos, at least for right now. If you want to take it to the next level, then like this video, share with your friends, and then we can all grow together, because then it becomes something that we can actually sustain ourselves through instead of just doing this as like a side hobby. So I'm aiming for as many likes as I said in the video earlier. That's 16 likes. And if we can reach that goal, then I'm looking forward to bringing some bangers in the next week's video. See y'all on the next one. Peace.